Something I wanted to put on the table, just to consider. I do a lot of research, and I read a lot of old books, and scripts, and accounts, and stories, you name it. And we're always taught this dialectic about creation, which is, you have from like a religious view, like maybe the world was populated by two people that were created by God, originally an Adam and Eve type of story. And then from the cult of scientism, we're taught that we evolved from, other entities along the way. I don't want to get into it. That's not the point of the video. But one of the things that I find curious, aside from both of those kind of looping back to the same dialectic, if you will, same sides, like no matter which choice you make, the path is going to take you to the same place, you know what I'm saying, with evolution or with Adam and Eve type of creation story. I just find it really curious that not one culture has ever written about their ancestors looking different then they traveled to this portion of the world and their phenotype changed. Why is that? Not one Spaniard, after conquering the Americas, had anybody in their bloodline change to a copper skin phenotype like the American Indians. Not one person that's ever moved to Scandinavia had their, hair or skin tone or eye color change to lighter colors after generations in that area. The only time it ever changes is through blood, right? So somebody would have to procreate with somebody with a different phenotype, and then their phenotypes would, amalgamate, if you will. So what I'm putting forward is just some sort of different perspective that neither the creation story nor the evolution path of how people are created or quote unquote evolved or came to be, neither of them are even remotely close, because reality just doesn't work that way. And I'm just putting this on the table. I'm not making any claims other than the fact not one culture, not one people that I've researched, and I do this full time, like my life depends upon it, because it does. Not one older culture has ever talked about their ancestors looking differently than relocating and changing in appearance. So what's really going on here? If this type of subject matter interests you, check out my SpiritWhirled series. Links are in the description. And book 5 is going to be exceptional in what I have to say about the Americas. In fact, let's put this out there. Now, my readers know that I think Atlantis is allegorical, especially because the root ATL means water in the American language, the native language. But in looking at the Americas and the shit that I'm going to reveal in book 5, if there ever was an advanced civilization, it was here. And think about that. But while you're thinking about that, I also want to offer this, because a lot of people make maps based on secondhand information and lazy cartography. And something to contemplate, something that has way more credibility than Atlantis is Tryland. Look that up. It was literally on every map from like the 1500s to the 1600s, and it's a phantom island. So it's got me thinking about a lot of things, but this is why you can't trust maps. It's like the original Mandela effect, where everybody knows of this island. There's all kinds of accounts, except for the fact that the island's not there and never was there. So what were they thinking was an island? They thought North America was an island. You can see old maps where California's drawn like an island. Now, I'm not making the claims that it was or it wasn't, but there's no real evidence of any accounts of it. That being said, the deserts of Victorville, they actually look like an ocean floor. Like the sand is so fine, it's like talc powder fine. And I know people who have fossils and shit on their property. There's oil there. There definitely is all kinds of aquatic skeletons and shit being found on dry land. So things were different. There's no question about it. But in the time span where these maps were created, when they're only a couple hundred years old, they weren't that different. So I just want to put that stuff out there. Keep in mind, there's a lot to think about the way this world works and what's really going on in it. And I hope this finds you well, and I'll see you next time. All right, cheers.